Gale Force Dawn is the new stance for this thing. I'm assuming, being the only one I don't have, and it's nightmarish. It drops from the Zariman from specific enemies that haven't found them all just yet, or the certain crewmen, the Kuva enemies. It's basically a wait and hope you can get a hold of one situation. Because as good as the Hespar looks, Hespar, it is a Mastery Rank 12 required, and the blueprint from this is behind bounties in the Zariman, which means it's kind of a pain to get a hold of, but luckily if we just turn around and come over here and... Well, I'm saying luckily, but the only way a lot of people can get a hold of this would be to basically buy it, which is why I'm amazed that it didn't come with that stance for it, considering if you buy it here, you don't get the stance for it until you get to the Angels of Zariman, in which case you may as well farm for the blueprint for it. But since Digital Extreme basically sent me this thing anyway, may as well go in, and they would have sent me the stance for it, wouldn't? No, they didn't. No stance. So can't have a look at the combos or anything else for it. It has no polarities whatsoever. It has one polarity, it's a V, and if we kind of Prime Fury this thing, because it does have an pretty slow attack speed of 1, the crit chance is 24, the status is 28, but it's the heavy attacks that are going to make this thing useful, which means, I'm sorry, Amalgam Shatter is going to have to find its way in there. And I heavily wish I could keep this, because I was hesitant at first about the added crit chance with the added crit damage, throw Sacrificial Steel in on top, in a non-Umbral format slot, which means you have to format this way too many times. 3 in theory. Yeah, I might do a 4th and upgrade that. Basically throw in... It won't fit as it is, but in theory, if I had a format that to a Umbra format, this would go in great, or I'll just put a dash there and throw that in, which will increase the... Sadly, the viral damage this thing has, which these 3 mods can be swapped for any combination of elements, and I ran this thing status-based at 90-something%, and you can kind of still get back towards that by swapping others in and getting 78. It goes up to 97 point... question mark? No, that's not right. Also, oh, that's not the mod I thought it was. And as much as I wish I could keep a hold of this mod, I can't. This is a borrowed Riven while I do some other things, and... yeah, okay, used to run all the status mods. I've lost about 15% status chance by taking 2 of these off, and added slash damage, crit chance, crit damage. Probably best to use this against the Grenier Corpus, if we're being honest, but still, throw Sacrificial Steel and Amalgam Organ Shatter in here, and you have 97.9% crit chance with a 5 times multiplier that, let's not forget, the crit chance is doubled for heavy attacks. It did take me a little bit to get a hold of this, get the stance, and basically decide whether I preferred the Hespar or the Praedos. The Praedos, it was a decent weapon. It's a dual-wielding Tonfa, yes, but sadly when it comes to heavy attack, it's 400 times 2. This thing's 1680 times 3. In canon or not, the Praedos compared to this, yeah. Hands down, I would have to go Hespar every single time for this. There isn't really much of a question to it. The only reason I'm mentioning it is simply down to the fact that they kind of came out at the same time. And then it's in canon form. Yeah, okay, it might be able to swing a little bit faster for that heavy attack, but it's literally just attack speed that the Praedos has better than this. Every single thing else, this is better. Was it worth doing the Void Cascade for the handle, the Void Armageddon for the blade, and the Zariman high level bounty? That's going to change, but it's still going to be on one of the higher bounties, which which is why I kind of cut that little bit from earlier. Yes, it may only have the 3 parts, but the Void Cascade, it's actually a pretty easy mission to do, and you will get that part pretty easily. The blade may be a little bit more problematic, but not the end of the world. Right up until you realise you kind of have to build these things. They do use void plumes, but it's just one handle, and I don't know how they got away with this. Whoever, I'm going to say, fact check this weapon kind of dropped the ball, because the 2-headed heavy scythe needs 1 blade out of every single weapon they have added. Yeah, I think the pistol, the Incarnon pistol, is still probably my favourite. Cannot really fault a decent Latham. The rest of them, they're good, apart from obviously the Kratos. That was, to be fair, I still stand by it, was kind of lackluster. This, yeah, the Hespar has probably got to be my favourite of all the weapons they added because of what it came with. It's a new animation style, it's a new type of melee weapon, it has a new stance. It only has 1 blade, which is a great counter to this, but it should probably have 2. I'm just hoping that they never, ever, ever fix that, because it's a weird aspect that I liked about it. It should have 2 blades and 1 handle. It has 1, but it actually has 2. So you only need 1 to build it, 2 to use it. And it deals a lot of damage. It is worthy of its position behind that level 110 to 115 bounty. It is worth its position behind the Void Armageddon and the Void Cascade to get a hold of the handle and the blade. It's worth the farm to get it. The only kind of annoying thing really I found about this is the fact that, well, unless you have actually unlocked the Zariman, the only way to get this is to buy it from the marketplace. Kind of wish they'd made the blueprint, maybe even the parts, tradable, which, for the record, I did go in and check. The parts are tradable. You can trade the parts, but the blueprint itself isn't. You can see the little trading icon to the right of the credits if you were to sell it, whereas this doesn't have that symbol. So the parts are tradable, the blueprint isn't. Before anybody jumps to the comment section and said I was wrong about this. I know, but I already said it, so I'm leaving it in. But if the blueprint itself was tradable, nice recovery, this would have been kind of the perfect weapon, because it is just great. The fact that the Thrax use it is kind of annoying, but at the same time, not so much, because it's just a really, really, really good weapon. It was also just very weird that the Gale Force Dawn dropped from the Devastator crewman and the Kuva, whatever it was called, and not from the Thrax who actually used the weapon. It probably should have been on them rather than anywhere else. Plus, apparently you can get it as a mission reward. Can't confirm that because I've only ever actually, well, I'm saying that, I'm pretty sure I got one from a mission reward. I just can't confirm that because I wasn't paying that much attention to it while I was doing it, if I'm being honest. But yes, this weapon, I absolutely love the Hespar. It is a great weapon. Here's hoping we get more heavy scythes in the future, because I would love to see a Reaper, but like this. Or how about the Ether style ones? The Ether style weapons are something they did and then basically stopped very quickly. An energy based blade version of the Hespar that has 2 energy blades to it would also be great. They can do a lot with this weapon type. Whether they do or not, we'll just have to wait and see, but I'm really hoping they do, because this thing was actually amazing, and I really hope we get more just like it. We have lots of scythes, just turn them into 2-handed ones. With that, we'll leave this off here. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.